Welcome, dear mortals, to my humble abode. They call this place home now. Funny, it was my home first. Still is, really. I've been here since 1888 that is. Not by choice, mind you. Father's debts, a misunderstanding, and a rather sharp blade. Poof! Here I am, forever. My name, or what remains of it, is Alistair Finch. A gentleman of leisure, or so I aspired to be, before my untimely relocation. The year was 1888, a time of gaslight and grand expectations. My father, bless his ambitious but fiscally challenged soul, had a penchant for speculative investments, and a rather unfortunate habit of losing them. One particular evening, a misunderstanding arose concerning a rather substantial sum and a gentleman with an even more substantial temper. A duel, you ask? Oh, if only it were so dramatic! More of a heated discussion in a dimly lit alley, followed by a glint of steel and a sudden, rather inconvenient cessation of vital functions. One moment, I was contemplating the merits of a new cravat, the next, I was observing my own rather pale form from a most peculiar vantage point. It was quite the shock, I assure you. One doesn't simply expect to become a permanent fixture of one's ancestral home. This house, you see, is more than just bricks and mortar. It's a repository of memories, a tapestry woven with generations of joy, sorrow, and the occasional misplaced monocle. I've seen it all. From the grand Victorian soirees of my youth to the roaring 20s, the somber war years, and now, this bewildering era of glowing rectangles and incessant beeping. The house has changed, of course. Walls moved, colors shifted, but its spirit, its very essence, remains. And so do I. I am the silent observer, the unseen guardian, the spectral landlord who never collects rent but certainly enjoys the amenities. My favorite spot is the grand staircase. From there, I can survey my domain, watch the comings and goings, and plan my next delightful diversion. It's a rather splendid view, even if the new tenants insist on painting the banister a ghastly shade of beige. Now it's 2025, and these new tenants, the Millers, are quite the distraction. There's Mr. Miller, a perpetually stressed individual who mutters to himself about bandwidth and synergy. Mrs. Miller, a whirlwind of organic kale and yoga poses, constantly tries to cleanse the house of its negative energies. Oh, if only she knew the source of some of that energy! And then, the little ones. Young Leo, a whirlwind of boundless energy, and his sister, Clara, a budding artist with an imagination as vast as the cosmos. They leave their toys everywhere. Little plastic monstrosities, brightly colored and utterly devoid of any discernible purpose. So, I move them to the attic, or the fridge. Sometimes, I arrange them in peculiar formations, like a miniature army of plastic soldiers guarding a note. The screams? Music to my non-existent ears. They think it's a draft. Bless their modern hearts. They're always looking for a logical explanation. Oh, if only they knew! My days, or rather, my eternal nights, are filled with a delightful array of spectral amusements. It's not all moving toys, you know. Sometimes I just whisper their names. A soft, almost imperceptible sigh, just as they're drifting off to sleep. Clara. Leo. The way they bolt upright, convinced they heard something, is simply priceless. Or I hide their homework. A particularly satisfying prank, especially when it's a crucial assignment due the next morning. The frantic searching, the accusations, the sheer panic, it's the little things, you know? I've developed a particular fondness for their electronic devices. The way they glow, the strange noises they emit. Sometimes, I'll give their television a little flicker, just enough to make them question their sanity. Or I'll make their internet connection mysteriously drop, right in the middle of a crucial video call. The exasperated sighs, the frustrated shouts, it's a symphony of modern distress, and I am its conductor. I'm not a malicious spirit, mind you. More of a mischievous poltergeist with a penchant for the dramatic. My goal isn't to terrify them out of their wits, but to remind them that they are not alone. That this house has a history, a presence, a permanent resident who enjoys a good laugh. I've perfected the art of the subtle scare. A cold spot in a warm room. A door that creaks open just a fraction too wide. The faint scent of old pipe tobacco in the dead of night. One evening, Mrs. Miller was attempting to meditate in the living room, chanting about positive vibrations. I decided to offer a counterpoint. I gently nudged a framed portrait of my great-aunt Agatha off the wall. It landed with a soft thud, perfectly upright, right beside her lotus-positioned feet. Her shriek was quite impressive. She now believes the house is testing her spiritual resolve. I believe I'm simply testing her patience. Living alongside mortals in the 21st century is an education, I must say. I've learned about streaming services, social media, and the baffling concept of influencers. I've witnessed their strange rituals of ordering food from glowing screens and having it delivered by strangers. It's all so terribly efficient, yet so utterly devoid of charm. Where is the thrill of a good old-fashioned dinner party, complete with scandalous gossip and copious amounts of sherry? I often wonder what they would do if they truly knew. If they saw me, a translucent figure in a frock coat, observing their every move. Would they flee in terror? Would they call an exorcist? Or would they, perhaps, try to interview me for a podcast? The possibilities are endless, and frankly, quite amusing to ponder. For now, I prefer my role as the unseen orchestrator of their minor domestic dramas. They say home is where the heart is. And my heart, or what remains of it, is firmly rooted in these walls. I am the unseen companion, the silent witness to their lives. I've seen their triumphs and their tribulations, their laughter and their tears. And through it all, I remain. A permanent resident, a spectral landlord, a mischievous spirit with a story to tell. So, the next time you hear a strange creak in the night, or find your keys in an inexplicable location, perhaps it's not just the wind. Perhaps it's a friendly reminder from a permanent resident, a playful nudge from a spirit who simply enjoys the company. After all, a house isn't truly a home until it has a ghost, wouldn't you agree? If you've ever felt a chill down your spine or heard a whisper in the dark, you're already part of my world. Share your own ghostly encounters in the comments below. Hit that like button if you appreciate a good haunting, and subscribe for more tales from beyond the veil. Don't be a scaredy cat, join our community of horror enthusiasts and let's keep the spectral stories alive!